Um, how I ended up choosing film. A journey that honestly started in a place I never expected, church. Specifically the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Old Harbor, Jamaica. My family and I had just arrived at church, settled in our seats. As I'm watching the service, my mom leans over to me and nudges me, go ask if you can be a part of the communication team. I looked at her and I was like, no. But she pointed out the cameras the church had, and she wanted me to get out of my introverted shell. I didn't exactly jump at the opportunity. I was more comfortable just being in the background. But eventually I got up and went over to inquire. Little did I know that simple move would be the start of something bigger than me. So let me backtrack for a sec, like a quick sec. Since I was 15, I always wanted a camera. I used to dream about it, but as you know, cameras are expensive. I never had the funds to get a camera either, so being able to work with cameras at church, oh man, that was a whole dream come true, honestly. Every Sabbath I'd show up, help out as a camera operator, and something just clicked, you know? I didn't know it at the time, but it was filling this void inside of me, finding something I didn't know I was missing. I didn't know I was missing that. So the funny part of that was during all of that time, I was doing engineering. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. I liked the structure of it, but deep down, I just knew I didn't really feel like I belonged there, you know. But you know how it is when you're already deep in something, especially that costs 1.5 million Jamaican dollars a year, 10,000 USD to bring it into more context. You just have to try and push through it, you know? But then I made what some might call a bold move. I switched majors. Yeah, from engineering to marketing. Yeah. I know, big change, right? Yep. A guy who had spent his whole life in the sciences from high school suddenly just jumped into business. But in all honesty, I was just trying to find a place where I actually felt like I belonged. And guess what? I didn't belong there either.
It got so bad that the school I was attending at the time was literally asking me to leave because of how bad my grades were. So during the week, I felt lost. But in the weekend when I went to church on Sabbath, I had that sense of purpose. I was like, yo, listen, I have to do something about this now.
So I finally decided to buy my own camera, and from there, everything started to fall into place. I started to record myself, my family, friends on some fun shoots, and I realized that I actually love what I'm doing. And action? Eventually the opportunity came for me to study overseas, and now I'm in New York. What? Studying what I'm passionate about. No, and I feel like I'm in the right place, and I know I have a long journey ahead of me, but I'm gonna figure it out as I go along. But I know for a fact that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I know for a fact that I belong here.
So I'm pretty divided on it. I feel as if maybe I belong where I'm at, but also at the same time, when I was a kid, I didn't think I would be back in college. I thought I would be already in a job or already in the profession that I imagined myself to be. But life never turns out that way, obviously. So in actuality, I think it was a learning experience. So yeah, everybody says everybody's on their own time schedule. I feel as if maybe I'm the same. So I'm back in college doing, trying to get my life back on track. So yeah, I'd rather say, yeah, I'm where I belong.
Well, I don't know. Not really. I'm an outsider in every way. Like, I don't belong on campus. I didn't go to college myself. I started writing right out of high school. I'm not an academic. I'm not interested in the command structure of a university. I don't really care about those things. I don't know how to care about them. I don't think I do belong, no. But the department wants writers, and a writer I am. So to that extent, I belong.
Do you think you belong in the media industry, the media writing industry? And how did you even get there?
Really, I've just followed an absurd path of any time anyone said, hey, you smart kid, want to do this thing? I was just like, yep, okay. And that is how I've done everything. So I don't know. What I would like, what I'm most known for and what I care about the most is writing fiction. But that's not a way to make a living, to write novels. So I write novels, people buy them. I get maybe 35 cents a month from the royalties of that. I can't raise a family on that. So that's what I'd really like to be doing. That's the world I view myself as belonging to, but the society doesn't value that. So,
because I love it. That's how much I like it. I'm like, yeah, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's teach people, right? So I guess the very first time I had like a sneak peek of that feeling was in elementary school when I was running for student president for the school. And I was like, I guess this is not that bad. I like it. And then when I was 12, I belonged to this, well, it's not a leadership group. It's called MJC, a religious group actually, Roman Catholic group. And they were very nice, very welcoming. But they provide me with a safe space to just talk to people, without being like, oh, like an interview, right? Like, oh, you don't have to say this, say that. Never say that. Horrific. I don't like it. But my way of becoming a leader was like a physical leader, like we were speaking before. I was like, oh yeah, let's go do this. Can you lead the activity? Of course, let's move the people, like physically, like, hey, come on, like yelling, right? With like 50 people, be like, hey, can we do this? Let's run over there. Stuff like that. I was feeling like I belong there. That feeling of talking to people, to hearing, listening to people, one of the most beautiful things I've come across, right? Just learning from people, from strangers. I love strangers. I always tell my friends, I like to keep strangers as strangers because I'm just there to listen, and I'm like, yeah, this moment, this is where I belong. Even if I'm not leading them to something, I'm listening. And that's a sense of belonging that I love to have.
Present to you one of the greatest recipes, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's so